I'd like to introduce now, we have Laurencia, Chloe and Rachel from the Office of the Victorian Information Commissioner, or as we commonly know it, Ovic. So Laurencia, over there, is a Principal Advisor, Information Security within the Office of Ovic. Laurencia has worked with Ovic and the former officers for the past 8.5 years and is part of the original team who authored and delivered the first information security regulatory model for Victorian government. We have Chloe. Chloe Hollard is a Senior Business Engagement Officer within Ovic, the Information Security Unit, and has a background in communications and information management. Chloe is passionate about creating engaging and practical guidance and resources for VPS organisations and cemetery trust, which I think is probably very helpful with today's session. And we have Rachel. Rachel is an Information Security Officer supporting the Information Security Unit and undertakes internal security activities that help form part of Ovic's PDSP. Rachel is the point of call for cemetery trust, so get a good look at their face. Requiring assistance in developing their own protective data security plans, and is always happy for a chat. So again, the girls will be here for a while. And I'll hand it over to Chloe.
Oh, thanks. Thank you.
I'm not sure how good that is.
No, you're right. You go for it. Hello, everybody. We appreciate that this will stand between you and lunch. So it's probably not a bad idea to have a minty and buckle up for some legislation, which is very exciting. To kick off, we'd just like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we're presenting today, and any elders from other communities who may be joining us. So, other than being really office, we are a primary and independent regulator for the Freedom of Information Act and the Privacy and Data Protection Act in Victoria. Who are we? Well, Dean gave us a very nice introduction. You may have interacted with our office in the Freedom of Information capacity or privacy guidance capacity, but we are here to talk to you today about information security or data protection. They're used interchangeably. And we are speeding because we know that lunch is coming up. Great, so the dry but very important stuff. So the Privacy and Data Protection Act is the governing act within Victoria that manages the protection of public sector information. So all of our cemetery trusts, both Class A and Class B, are subject to this act. So really, what does that actually mean for you? Because we know that legislation is dense and we like to boil things down and actually talk about it practically. So we like to talk about it being ensuring that the right people have access to the right information at the right time. So you'll see here we've got some examples of your cemetery trust information that might sort of resonate with you and get you to start thinking about what this might actually mean for your cemetery trust. But essentially, keeping good records is about creating community confidence and community connection as well. So if you have strong record-keeping practices, you not only satisfy your legislative obligations, but you also create community confidence and commemorate the lives of your community members, and you also ensure the longevity of your cemetery trust for future generations. So if I were passing on the baton to Rachel, she'd have everything she'd need to keep the trust up and running. Okay, what is required of you in 2022? Again, we are burning through this, but you have detailed slides in front of you which you can read over lunch, because we're sure you have nothing better to do than get stuck into legislation. But we really want to give you the highlights today. So in 2022, all cemetery trusts, both Class A and Class B, are required to submit a Protective Data Security Plan, or PDSP, to our office. Class A cemetery trusts, you've got the detail. So you are a branch of one tree, a similar tree. Class A trusts, you are required to use the standard Victorian public sector reporting template. It's a little bit beefier, but we do have detailed guidance available for you in the form of a how-to guide. So it's a step-by-step guide that will walk you through what that form is and how to complete it. And we also have a dedicated section of our website that you can refer to step you through everything that you'll need to get across the reporting line this year. So that's just a quick snapshot for Class A cemetery trusts. Okay, now, Victoria's Information Commissioner is Sven Blumel, and he would like to speak directly to Class B cemetery trusts, audio pending.
Hello, I'm Sven Blumel, Victoria's Information Commissioner. Now, we all know that cemetery trust information is important to the Victorian community and indeed to government. Not only does it commemorate the lives of community members, but it provides important genealogical records that preserve a profound, colourful and personal history of Australia. And it's become very clear with our discussions with cemetery trust members that there is a real passion to make sure that this information is protected and available to future generations. Now, we appreciate that Class B Cemetery Trust members, and many of you of course are volunteers, spend countless hours ensuring that your records are accurate and complete. And this results in community confidence in the accuracy and availability of this information whenever it's needed. Now, a tailored Class B Protective Data Security Plan template is now available on Ovic's website. As I said, this is for Class B cemetery trusts. Class A cemetery trusts need to use the standard VPS template. Now, for the first time, this is also accompanied by a detailed how-to guide for Class B cemetery trusts, and this will step you through all the fields and how to complete a protective data security plan for your trust, which is a legislative obligation. Now, the upcoming deadline for submitting those protective data security plans is the 31st of August this year, 2022, and completing such a template is a legislative requirement under Part 4 of the Privacy and Data Protection Act. A trust is required to submit one of these every 2 years. Now, we do understand that some of the requirements in the template might be unfamiliar, they might be confusing, but we are there to help. Everything is in the template for a good reason and was put together carefully with the sector. So please reach out to us if you have any queries. The first port of call, of course, is our website at ovic.vic.gov.au. You can also contact us by email if you have specific queries, security@ovic.vic.gov.au. We look forward to working with you and to receiving your trust's protective data security plan and attestation for 2022. Thank you.
Lovely. All right, I'm Rachel, everyone. Thank you for being here today. So I'm going to go through the Class B Cemetery Trust reporting, the other branch of the tree. So those who filled out the PDSP in 2020 will be familiar with this. We have done some updates to this year to make it hopefully a little bit more, add some more guidance for you. So there's 14 questions, and as mentioned, the Class A's have to do the VPS standard template, and so Ovic actually has to fill out a PDSP as well. So we're working on activities as we speak. So we're there with you. So as I said, this is a requirement under law, but we'll go through. And also, sorry, I just didn't mention on the previous slide, but as part of our resources, we've made a website for Class B cemetery trusts. And it's got the PDSP there, it's got a how-to guide, which is a new one for this year. It's got a link to the video if you want to catch Sven again. But it's also got our contact information. So I want to really heavily emphasise, please get in contact if anything is unclear, overwhelming, you want to have a chat, see what these questions are actually about, all the words there. We know there's a few pages. Please feel free to give me a call. So when you're sitting down to fill out your PDSP, put the kettle on first, get a coffee or tea or something strong if you need. Grab your PDSP, get the how-to guide and have a look. We think, first of all, like, what information have you got? Have you got a burial register? Have you got your cemetery maps? And they're information that we can protect, which is the whole aim of the game. We want to make sure that that information's there too for members of the public, future generations. And how do you go about that? So as I said, we are here to help at all times. That is my direct number. Please leave a voicemail with your Cemetery Trust and your phone number, as the number doesn't actually come up on my phone. So give me some details and I'll call you back. So just a quick refresh here. So we've got one response for each question. If you do fill out a couple, you might think, oh yeah, I've got that planned, but part of it's also implemented. I will give you a call and we can chat through which one's the best response. And also one thing to say, for those who did submit in 2020, we got about 75 or 79% out of 496 cemeteries, which was amazing. If you've had a look, COVID's been massive. There's been lots of things happening as well. So if you thought you were going to get something done and you haven't, it's definitely okay to downscale your response. We're all about transparency at Ovic and access to information. So we'll hit that one. Is there anything else on this slide, Chloe?
Each cemetery trust, we appreciate that each cemetery trust will look different from the next town over. So if you are chatting to each other, it's fine that yours might not look like another person's, and that's perfectly fine. Just do what makes most sense for you.
Yeah, and we also know that not everyone likes to work electronically. You might not have a computer, and that's okay. Your hard copy physical documents that you might have stored under a box under your desk in your house, they all are included here.
Cool. Great. So we love a timeline. We love a roadmap. So we're just going to give you a bit of a vibe as to how you can kind of get ahead towards the 31st of August. So in February, we posted out a copy of the Class B Cemetery Trust PDSP and the how-to guide to every Class B Cemetery Trust in Victoria that we had an address for. So please check your post, and if you haven't received that, we also emailed out a copy on the 1st of March for everyone we have an email address for. So you should have all of the documents in some form. If you don't, that's perfectly fine. We have some copies that we can give you today if you prefer a hard copy, or you can just drop us a line and we'll post one out to you or email one out to you as well. So this isn't your only opportunity to get your hands on that. Also, we're here today having a chat to you about this stuff, although very briefly. And this isn't your last opportunity to chat to us. So we're going to have an online forum just for cemetery trusts on the 31st of May. We've got some sign-up sheets kicking around somewhere where you can pop down your email address if you'd like to come along to that. But we'll also send out some comms as well down the track to let you know when that session's happening. Additionally, you can give us a call anytime. I know we keep harping on about that, but we are definitely available to support you through this process. We appreciate that it is more paperwork in an already trying time, but we're here to help you get that across the line. Then internally, you'll need to go through your own preparations together as a committee, get all your paperwork together, ready to submit to Ovic by the 31st of August. How, you might be asking? You can email us a copy or you can post us a copy, and it should be a copy. Or if you do send us the original, make sure that you've kept a copy for yourself as well. It's always good record keeping to have a copy of any documents that you send into our office. We've also dropped some feedback sheets on your tables as well. We're a bit funny on numbers, so everyone might not have one. But again, you can email us, call us. We are very open to feedback. We know this is a very passionate sector and we love frank, honest feedback. We're not just saying that, we really do. So if you have some things you'd like to share with us, you are more than welcome to. Oh yes, and so you've got some goodies for your goodie bags on your tables as well. So we've given you the slides, the more detailed version of the slides that we've burned through today. We also have an information asset register. So that's a hard copy document that you don't need to submit to our office, but it's actually a tool that we've created for Class B cemetery trusts to help them with their record keeping, and it also satisfies activity 2, 3 and 4. of your PDSP. So if you're working through that information asset register, you're already well along your journey to completing your PDSP. So you should all have a copy. Again, if you prefer to work in soft copy on your computer, we can email you out a version and you can keep an electronic copy that way as well. Great. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.